The Los Angeles Rams in week one showed me that they are absolutely good enough to win the Super Bowl, and I have never been more high on this team. Now, coming into this year, I believed that the Rams would win the NFC. I saw the formula of how to beat the Philadelphia Eagles for the Rams last year. No other team was closer to beating the Eagles on their dominant run last year to winning the Super Bowl, but you had the Rams who saw them twice, and yes, they got gashed in the running game against Saquon Barkley and company, but they came so close to beating them in the NFC divisional round in a snowy, dirty game. And if a few things are cleaned up, a few home run plays from Saquon are cleaned up, the Rams definitely win this game. And I felt that they had such a good opportunity to take another step as a team, to take another step defensively this year. And I feel that's exactly what they've done. And I know it's only week one. You don't want to overreact too much to everything, but my initial offseason prediction for the Rams was that they would win the NFC. I liked them to get to the Super Bowl, and I think after watching week one, and in specific this defense in week one, I think this team is good enough to win the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caden Kubler. I appreciate you guys watching. I think the Rams are such a dangerous team in the NFC, and they don't get a lot of buzz in the NFC. I know everybody's talking about the Packers right now, deservedly so. 2 dominant wins, the only 2-0 team in the NFL right now. Micah Parsons has been unbelievable for this defense. They might have the best defense in football right now. And of course, everybody's talking about Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson. Everybody's talking about J.J. McCarthy in the Minnesota Vikings and that incredible comeback on Monday Night Football. The Lions are struggling. The Commanders. Everybody's talking about every other team in the NFC, but you have the Los Angeles Rams who every single year, year after year after year, they're always in the dance. They're always in a position to go on a deep run. And that's the greatness of Sean McVay for you, ladies and gentlemen. And until this dynamic duo of him and Matthew Stafford aren't in Los Angeles anymore, I've got to assume that this team is going to get into the dance and they're going to go on a deep run. And that's how I feel about this squad this year. All right, let's talk about week one here. Let's talk about the rest of the season. Obviously, my expectations for the Rams are very, very high. In week one, I was impressed with this victory. I know ultimately it was low scoring. It was a dirty affair. I believe the Houston Texans have one of the best defenses in football, and I've said this for a while now. D'Amico Ryans has done an incredible job, and you've got 2 tremendous edge rushers, of course, in Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. They were both great. Will Anderson had 2 sacks, I believe, in this game, and the secondary is the other really strong part of this defense. I mean, the linebacking core is even great, but this team really doesn't have any holes defensively, and this was going to be a tough matchup for the Rams because you're going up against the top 5 defense in football, and I thought that LA made the right plays. They did enough to get this one done, and you've got to feel really good moving forward because in the past, we've seen the Rams have this tendency of starting slow. I want to say it was 2 years ago where they started 1-4, maybe it was last year, where they started 1-4. They had to dig themselves out of this hole, and yes, some injuries definitely played into it. But for the Rams, it's all about starting fast. And people, I didn't feel like talked about that enough with this team. It's like, hey, they've got to start fast in order to try and make it into the playoffs, try and win this division, get a high seed, because that was one of their problems last year. They had to go on the road in the postseason. You don't want to go on the road in Philadelphia. So if Los Angeles can start faster, especially with some of the new pieces that they have, this team is going to be in a really good position to go on a deep run. Now, defensively, they did an unbelievable job. This was a defensive matchup. The way I looked at it, 14-9. Houston defensively, I just complimented how great they looked, but the Rams defensively were unbelievable. They were forcing turnovers, that game-winning punch-out at the very end by Nate Landman. That was unbelievable. That saved the game. It felt like the Rams were really dominating the entirety of the game, and Houston was just sticking around. They were rolling with the punches. They were going with it. Then all of a sudden, they get that turnover on the other end, and then they bring it all the way down. Landman saves the game with that punch out. But I thought the Rams defense looked incredible. They were really, really good. They were flying around. And the one thing I'll say, I thought the front 7 looked really good. And this is the strength of the defense right now. It's Jared Verse, it's Byron Young, it's Braden Fisk. this D-line has become one of the best in football, and everybody knows that Verse is all of a sudden this defensive player of the year candidate. The cat is all the way out of the bag with him. This dude is a freak of nature. He is a stud. And on the other side, you've got Byron Young, who had a massive game. These two are huge pivotal pieces for this defense. And of course, Braden Fisk was the runner-up for the defensive rookie of the year last year. This defensive line has become incredible, but it's also about that front seven stopping the run. They invested into Puna Ford this offseason. So I think right now, this defense looked unbelievable. And that's why I'm so excited. That's why I've got this big smile on my face, because I'm like, okay, if the Rams can figure it out defensively, they've got the offense. Obviously, we'll talk about the offensive performance here in a little bit, but it's like they've got the offense. They've got the mastermind in Sean McVay, who's going to be able to get them to the postseason. But if this defense can just figure it out, if they can just figure it out, this is a team that can win the Super Bowl. And I firmly believe that the defense looked so much better. You can tell that they took a big step forward. They were getting after Stroud all day long. All I heard this offseason was how the Texans really improved this offensive line, and it did not look like it. Those guys were flying around defensively. All right, offensively for the Rams, we all understand they're going to be great on that side of the ball every single year when you've got Sean McVay and you've got Matthew Stafford, maybe the best quarterback to head coaching duo in football outside of Patrick Mahomes, I would say, and Andy Reid. I think they've been unbelievable throughout their tenure together, their relationship together. And in the past, I think Stafford has maybe started a little slow in the regular season, and I felt that they came out there and looked really slow in the first half, and they finally picked it up. They got that massive touchdown at the end of the first half. They got that first score, quick score to get out of halftime ultimately, and they didn't score again, and that was really a compliment to the defense for the job that they did. But ultimately, you had Puka take that really scary hit early on. You didn't know what he was going to look like. But man, this dude is just an unbelievable force. 10 receptions, 130 yards. Puka is going to be a top 5 receiver when we look at this season, when it's all said and done. He is such a special talent. He's such a great player. And of course, how nice and how much of a luxury is it to add Davante Adams, a guy that's had 1,000 yards in each of his last 5 seasons. Had a little bit of a slower start. He got targeted more as the game went on. 8 targets, 4 receptions, 51 yards. I think Davante Adams is only going to get more comfortable in this offense. I think things kind of went stagnant once Puka went out for those 2 drives, drive or 2. But now with Davante, it's like everything opens up. They re-signed Kyren this offseason. We know that Sean McVay, I love to say it, death taxes and Sean McVay running the football when he doesn't need to. Like Sean McVay loves to run the football and he loves to establish the run. And Kyren Williams is a perfect running back for that. He's a monster. And then when you go to maybe the best tandem of receivers in football and Puka Nacua and Davante Adams, that really helps things out overall for this team. I think it's the sky's the limit for the Rams. I mean, they had 2 massive plays that were called back by penalties. This game, like I said, really didn't feel close the entirety of the time. You have a potential to score another touchdown at the very end of the game. I think the Rams left so many points off the board, and yet to win this game, a team that has been a slow starter over the last few years, I think you've got to feel good about this right now. You got the win. You know that you're going to continue to get better. Your defense looked unbelievable. Matthew Stafford looked healthy. Now he's got to stay healthy, but he looked healthy. The run game looked good. Davante Adams is only going to get more comfortable in this offense. Puka Nacua was a monster on Sunday. So this Rams team gives me so much hope. They give me so much excitement. They've got the Titans this week on the road. It seems like a little bit of a trappy game, 5.5 point spread. I think Cam Ward is going to be a sensational player. I like the Rams to get this one done, move on to 2-0 before they've got to go on the road against the reigning defending champs. Cannot wait for that rematch, but I'm all in on the Rams, ladies and gentlemen. This is a team that we will see in January. This is a team that, in my opinion, we're going to see in February. I believe that the Rams will be in the Super Bowl, and it wouldn't shock me whatsoever if they won the Super Bowl. They're that good. They're that talented. They're going to heat up more and more as the season progresses. That's what we've known them to be, and I think that's exactly what we're going to see from the Los Angeles Rams, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Caden Kubler, and we'll see you guys later.